Skip, what's going on with Shedeur?
Nothing good. So I don't trust the Cleveland Browns when it comes to their quarterback situation on or off the field. So they announce on game day that Shedeur has a quote-unquote back injury, yet he did go out to warm up. They watched him warm up, and they disqualified him because he's got a back injury.
Why wouldn't you, just to see if it does anything to the offense, give him an opportunity to go in there and play?
Yeah, obviously my focus is where we are right now, Mary Kay. That's not my focus.
In Cleveland, the storm's no longer outside the stadium, it's inside the locker room. For weeks, the city's been buzzing with frustration. The fans are restless, the media's circling, and the headlines keep pointing at one name, Shedeur Sanders. But now things have flipped. Because inside that building, behind those closed doors, Shedeur just made it clear he's not the problem.
I don't trust it for 1 second. Bailey Zappi has I said it 5 times on the show. He's been the unofficial, unstated backup quarterback all along because Belichick once drafted him in the 4th round as a potential replacement for Tom Brady. Stefanski loves Bailey Zappi. He wants to give Zappi some reps down the stretch because it'll be over Stefanski's dead body that Shedeur gets any reps.
This isn't a story about a rookie struggling to adjust. It's about a young quarterback realizing that the house he walked into might already be on fire. And no matter how much talent you have, you can't fix a culture that's been broken for years. Before we get into what really happened, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and turn on notifications, because what's happening in Cleveland right now could change the entire direction of Shedeur's NFL career. It started quietly. During practice, players noticed the shift. Shedeur wasn't forcing throws, he wasn't panicking, but he was frustrated. The rhythm was off. The play calling was predictable. Every time he lined up, the defense seemed to know exactly what was coming. Veterans in the locker room whispered it too. The playbook hasn't evolved.
Was the backup, you said he was getting some number 1 reps. Is that true with Shedeur?
No. I mean, with a young quarterback with Dylan starting, you want to make sure he gets a lot of the reps. Different when you have a veteran like Joe, I would tell you, Tony. But still getting reps in a bunch of periods.
You could see it in the way Shedeur carried himself. Calm, composed, but sharp. He's a film junkie, a rhythm quarterback who thrives on precision. But when the system keeps putting you in bad situations, there's only so much you can do. And that's when the moment came. In a team meeting, Shedeur reportedly spoke up, not angrily, not disrespectfully, but with intent. If we're going to win, we need to be real about what's broken, because it ain't me. Now, this isn't just a quote, it's a message. Because for months, the Cleveland Browns organization has been deflecting accountability. From the head coach to the coordinators, every time the offense stalls, the narrative shifts back to rookie growing pains. But let's be honest, this is the same playbook that's been failing veterans for 3 seasons.
So all I can say after I watched the 4th round of Dillon Gabriel stink, Shedeur is way better than Dillon Gabriel. So all I can hope now with the trade deadline approaching, I really hope somebody trades for Shedeur Sanders.
Yeah.
Or I really hope as they go into their bye week that Jimmy Haslam says, you know, I've seen enough of Kevin Stefanski. I'm going to change. And one of those two is going to have to happen. Somebody's got to go if Shedeur has any chance to play at all this year or any year for the Cleveland Browns. So I've seen enough of Dillon Gabriel, and obviously Kevin Stefanski has not.
It's not Shedeur's inexperience holding this team back. It's the system's inability to evolve. Former players have started speaking up too. They said exactly what a lot of fans are thinking. Cleveland's problem didn't start with Shedeur Sanders. It started with an identity crisis. Because one week they want to be a ground and pound team. Next week they want to run a fast-paced spread offense. You can't build chemistry like that. And when the leadership upstairs refuses to admit it, the blame always falls on the quarterback. But here's where Shedeur is different. Most rookies would just stay quiet, try to fit in, follow the playbook, and avoid controversy. Not him. He's Deion Sanders' son for a reason. He's been raised around media storms his entire life. He knows how to control the narrative, and now he's doing it from inside one of the NFL's most volatile franchises. That "it ain't me" line wasn't arrogance, it was clarity. He's saying, I'm willing to work, I'm willing to lead, but I'm not taking the fall for dysfunction that existed long before I got here.
So all I can say after I watched the 4th round of Dylan Gabriel stink, Shedeur is way better than Dylan Gabriel. So all I can hope now with the trade deadline approaching, I really hope somebody trades for Shedeur Sanders.
Yeah.
Or I really hope as they go into their bye week that Jimmy Haslam says, you know, I've seen enough of Kevin Stefanski. I'm going to change. And one of those two is going to have to happen. Somebody's got to go if Shedeur has any chance to play at all this year or any year for the Cleveland Browns. So I've seen enough of Dylan Gabriel, and obviously Kevin Stefanski has not.
And that's exactly why this moment matters. Let's rewind a bit. When Shedeur was drafted, Cleveland sold the fans a dream, a fresh start, a new era. The Sanders name brought hype, ticket sales, and hope. But behind that optimism was a quiet tension, a locker room split between loyalty to veterans and excitement about the new kid. Reports say some veterans were skeptical. They saw him as a media magnet, someone who might bring more spotlight than wins. But after his first few practices, the tone changed. Shedeur wasn't flashy, he was meticulous. He stayed late studying film, took every rep seriously, and connected with receivers during downtime. So when he finally spoke up about the team's offensive issues, it didn't come from ego. It came from frustration, from a young leader seeing patterns that veterans had stopped questioning. The Browns' offense right now looks lost. Predictable formations, poor spacing, confusing play calls that waste talent like Amari Cooper and Nick Chubb. Even analysts on national shows have pointed it out. Cleveland's offensive identity is stuck in the past. So imagine being Shedeur, a quarterback who excelled in college running high-tempo, read-based systems, now being asked to operate an offense that feels like it's still from 2016. And yet, the media keeps hammering him. Can Shedeur adjust? Is he ready for NFL speed? Is he the answer? Those are the wrong questions. The real question should be, is Cleveland ready for Shedeur Sanders? Because right now, it looks like they're not.
This is Kevin Stefanski showing you once and for all, I didn't want to draft him. I don't like his attitude. I don't like his presence on social media. He won't even speak Shedeur's name in these interview sessions. There's just a principle involved here where at least you acknowledge that by default, just by default, Flacco is now gone. Shedeur moved up a slot. He's second on the depth chart. He fears his father. He fears that Dion, if Shedeur ever gets a hold of the starting quarterback job in Cleveland, that before you know it, Dion will replace Kevin Stefanski as the next head coach of the Cleveland Browns. Stefanski is now saying, over my dead body will Shedeur get a shot.
Behind the scenes, coaches are starting to feel the pressure. Stefanski's leadership is being questioned. The locker room vibe feels divided. Some players believe Shedeur should be given more control at the line of scrimmage. Others think the offense needs a complete overhaul. Even the defense, one of the best in the league, has shown frustration. You can't keep holding teams under 20 points while your offense keeps going 3 and out. That tension builds. So when Shedeur finally said, "It ain't me," it wasn't rebellion. It was honesty. And honesty in a losing locker room, that's explosive. Let's be clear, Shedeur's not asking for sympathy, he's asking for accountability. He's not throwing teammates under the bus, he's challenging leadership to step up, and that's rare for a rookie. Remember, this is a player who's used to being doubted. At Colorado, they said he couldn't handle Power 5 defenses. He proved them wrong. Before the draft, they said he wasn't a first-round talent. He proved them wrong again. Now they're saying he can't handle the NFL. And once again, he's fighting that narrative not by lashing out on social media or calling people out by name. He's doing it the right way, through performance and professionalism. And that's why, even through the noise, he's gaining respect around the league. You can't expect a rookie to fix a culture that's been broken for years. That's the truth Cleveland doesn't want to face. Because fixing this isn't about new players or flashy draft picks. It's about accountability from the top down. And if the Browns don't start listening to the one person in that room who actually sees it clearly, Shedeur Sanders, they might lose more than just games. They might lose the locker room. He's still adapting, still learning NFL defenses, still building chemistry. But even now, in the middle of dysfunction, he's showing the kind of leadership that veterans take years to develop. And that's what scares people. Because if he's this confident, this composed, and this aware as a rookie, imagine what he'll be once Cleveland actually builds around him. So what happens next? The Browns are at a crossroads. Either they embrace this new energy, admit their system is outdated, and let Shedeur help shape the offense, or they keep pretending the problem is him until the situation becomes unfixable. But one thing's for sure, Shedeur's not backing down. He's made his message clear. It ain't me. And those words might just mark the start of a new chapter in Cleveland's story, one where truth finally outweighs tradition. When history looks back on this season, it might not be remembered for the wins or losses. It'll be remembered as the year Shedeur Sanders challenged the culture and forced everyone to look in the mirror. Because leadership isn't about silence. It's about standing in the storm, speaking the truth, and refusing to let history repeat itself. And that's exactly what Shedeur just did.